From the Western Canadian Crop Production Show in Saskatoon, here's your hosts, Ryan Young and Doug Faulkner.
And a good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Sask Ag Today, live from the Western Canadian Crop Production Show at Prairieland Park in Saskatoon. I'm Ryan Young alongside Doug Faulkner here. It is day 2 today of the event, and Doug, we have a lot on the plate for today's show.
There's plenty going on here in Saskatoon, including Saskatchewan's Agriculture Minister, Darrell Harrison. He was here this morning, and on behalf of the federal and Saskatchewan governments, they made a major funding announcement for some ADF funding for crop research. So we'll have the announcement there. And of course, he also commented on the Bunge-Viterra merger approval, which came down late yesterday afternoon. We'll also have the Government of Saskatchewan, which has released the 2024 club route distribution map. And we'll have all the details on that with Sask Oilseeds Research Chair Cody Naj. Ryan, you had a chance to speak with Crops Extension Specialist Tice Massich about the fact that they're looking for some more crop reporters. So we'll have that on today's program. And, of course, the guest speaker yesterday morning at the Saskatchewan Crop Swarm in Saskatoon was retired Canadian General Rick Hillier. We'll have him on the program as well. All of those stories and lots more.
Absolutely, Doug, and we'll kick things off on the program here with Precision Weather with Phil Spivak. You're listening to Sask Ag Today, live from the Western Canadian Crop Production Show at Prairieland Park in Saskatoon.
From Crop Production Show.
Windy and mild. That's true pretty much wherever you are across the region. Winds gusting around 60 kilometers per hour, even a little bit higher around the Orton area through the afternoon. The temperatures, though, have gone above freezing. An impressive warm-up. Wind turning around, though, into the northwest signals that we've pretty much reached our peak. Not a free fall by any means, but at the very least, not much more warming, more likely a very slow decline of that temperature through the afternoon. Varying amounts of cloud and sunshine, though, as this cooler air starts to trickle in. And again, it's only cooler. This is not the cold air. We just have this weak transition, triggering a few clouds. We're back to partial sunshine through the day tomorrow, staying partly sunny at times, but a good chance that for a while through the early part of the day, we're mostly sunny and then leaning more toward partly sunny later in the afternoon. And it's mild once again. Temperatures getting to near or above freezing just about everywhere after backing down to within a few degrees of -8 tonight. We're still pretty mild for Thursday night. backing down to around -9. Yorkton area, Regina area, a little bit cooler, more of a drop-off to -11 or -12 around Saskatoon. But everybody gets into some snow. And there will be some accumulation of snow, likely a couple of centimeters. But more than the accumulation, it is going to be blowing snow. The wind will start to increase again through the day on Thursday. And starting out today, breezy. It goes almost calm for a little while tonight. Then it starts to pick back up. 20 to 40 late Thursday night. Gusts by Friday morning, especially in Regina, and then through the day into Yorkton area Friday afternoon. Winds could gust 60 to 70 kilometers per hour. If you guys stay the extra day in Saskatoon, you'll miss the winds because it's not going to be quite as strong there. But temperatures free fall everywhere. We're down to around -13 in Regina, -16 by the end of the day in Yorkton on Friday, and then in the -20s for the high Saturday, Sunday. And not only is it cold with temperatures in the mid-20s for the weekend, it's still blustery, and that means wind chills getting into that extreme cold range, -35 to -40.
Thank you very much, Phil. The sun rose here in Saskatoon at 9:09 this morning. The sun will set at around 5:24 later on this afternoon. The normal highs for this time of year in Saskatoon, -10, the lows around -20. Taking a look at around the province, in Assiniboia, Estevan, Saskatoon, and Swift Current, +1, Moosomin and Weyburn at 0 degrees, Yorkton and Melville at +3. The warm spot in the province for this hour is in Maple Creek at 5 degrees, and the cold spot in Collins Bay at -5. In Regina, it's a partly cloudy sky, west wind at 27 to 44 kilometers an hour, humidity at 80%, the temperature at -1 degree or 31 Fahrenheit, and the barometric pressure is at 101.9 and rising. And in Moose Jaw, mainly sunny, west wind at 42 kilometers an hour, and the temperature is at +1 there.
Temperatures around the GX94 listening area this hour. The Paw and Swan River are at +2. Dauphin and Brandon 0. Shoal Lake Russell -3. Roblin -1. Regina -1. Saskatoon +1. Hudson Bay +4. Broadview Moosomin 0. Indian Head -1. Wynyard Wadena Kelvington 0. The Yorkton Melville region has a cloudy sky. A west-northwest wind at 39, gusting to 52 kilometers per hour. 72% is the relative humidity. The temperature is +3 degrees. Yesterday, Yorkton reached a high of -5 degrees and dropped to a low of -27 degrees. There was no precipitation recorded in the 24-hour period ending at midnight last night. The normal high for this date is -13 degrees. The normal low is -24 degrees. The sun rose in Yorkton at 8:48 this morning, and it will set at 5:12 this afternoon. Extreme temperatures for Manitoba and Saskatchewan yesterday. The Manitoba hotspot was Flin Flon at -4 degrees. The cold spot was Brandon at -33 degrees. The Saskatchewan hotspot yesterday was Cypress Hills Provincial Park. It got up to +6 degrees. The cold spot was Estevan at -30 degrees. And that's a look at your agriculture weather. Please stay tuned. Sask Ag Today will continue from the Crop Production Show in Saskatoon right after this.
live from Crop Production Show.
Welcome back to Sask Ag Today. I'm Doug Falconer along with Ryan Young in Saskatoon. And the federal and Saskatchewan governments have announced a total of $9.4 million in funding for crop-related research. It's in addition to $5.4 million in co-funding from industry partners for a combined total of $14.8 million in 2025. It was announced this morning at the Saskatchewan Crops Forum here in Saskatoon. Saskatchewan Agriculture Minister Darrell Harrison was on hand for the announcement, but he first commented on Ottawa's decision late yesterday to approve the Bunge-Viterra merger.
Well, certainly it's been in the works for a while, waiting on federal approval. That just come out. I haven't read the document yet, but I look forward to reviewing it and see. But I'm sure they vetted it thoroughly.
He then talked about the agriculture funding announced today.
I think research and development is just incredibly important. 53 projects, nearly $15 million. It's just great. There's some great young minds and old minds working out there to come up with some new ideas and develop all that farmer ingenuity that actually comes to the lab and beyond.
Harrison says the research will benefit all Saskatchewan farmers.
Certainly down the road, our farmers, producers, they look forward to the new and exciting technologies and crop varieties. All that they're eager to try new things. Our farmers have never been shy on expanding their operations.
He then talked about Ottawa's planned changes to the capital gains tax, which will be enforced by the Canada Revenue Agency.
Well, certainly I have concerns with that too, with what's going on in Ottawa or not going on in Ottawa. It seems like the CRA is going to follow through. It ended up on the order paper, and with Parliament being prorogued, it just goes as stated apparently, and we'll have to deal with that post Parliament resuming and hopefully post-election. Harrison
would like to see the changes halted.
I would prefer that they would, but I don't think that's the way it proceeds. But certainly I would like to see it on hold. Given a minority government and now a prorogued Parliament, I think it would be best to wait. But I don't know that that's the direction that's going to be taken. But
he then returned to talking about the importance of the crop research.
It's just from pest management to disease management, new crop varieties, higher yields, drought tolerance. It's a wide range of crop development and ingenuity to help feed the world. It's the cutting edge technologies that are developed through this fund.
Harrison says the Western Canadian Crop Production Show is very valuable to producers.
I think Crop Production Show, it's a great show. It's being well attended. The weather's being very cooperative. Everybody's mood is very upbeat. I think it's nice to see snow on the ground from corner to corner here in the province. It's left a very optimistic feeling for producers heading into spring seeding.
He says the snow is very important ahead of spring seeding.
It's one step towards having enough moisture in the soil to get your crop started. Germination. We certainly a crop isn't filled with winter snowfall, but to show that it can snow border to border, that makes everybody, gives them a warm feeling in the heart.
And Harrison is hopeful the 25% tariffs proposed by U.S. President-elect Donald Trump can be avoided.
Well, Premier Moe is meeting with his counterparts in Ottawa this week and fully engaged with the provincial premiers and territorial leaders. It is extremely important for producers, the province, Canada. They're our biggest trading partner, and we have to work through this, and we're engaged with our counterparts in the U.S. and we'll have to continue to work on that and wait and see what comes up.
That's Saskatchewan Agriculture Minister Darrell Harrison, who spoke to reporters after the Agriculture Development Fund announcement in Saskatoon this morning. And please stay tuned. Sask Ag Today will return right after these messages.
Today.
Today, live from Crop Production Show.
Canada's federal government will allow the acquisition of major Canadian grain firm Viterra by one of the world's biggest grain industry players, but not without conditions. Federal Agriculture and Federal Transport Minister Anita Anand has announced the government's decision to approve Viterra's acquisition by U.S.-based Bunge. Among the list of over 24 conditions, the merged firm will be ordered to divest 6 specific prairie inland grain elevators, including 1 each from Bunge and Viterra in northeastern Saskatchewan, and 4 Viterra elevators across southern Manitoba. As per a federal order in council dated yesterday, the elevator sales are meant to address competition concerns with respect to canola seed origination in the areas around Bunge's canola crush plants at Nipawin, Saskatchewan, and Altona, Manitoba. The elevators to be sold include Viterra's Coulter elevator at Winnipeg, its Tucker elevator at Portage la Prairie, and its elevators at Beausejour and Fanny-Stell, Manitoba, plus its Valparaiso, Saskatchewan elevator between Melfort and Tisdale, and Bunge's Dixon, Saskatchewan elevator just west of Humboldt. A pilot program aimed at bringing more competition to Canada's rail system is among the casualties of outgoing Prime Minister Justin Trudeau's decision to prorogue Parliament. The federal government announced an 18-month trial for extended interswitching in the 2023 federal budget, and the clock started ticking on the program in September of 2023. Interswitching allows a shipper, such as a grain company that's served by one railway, to seek service from another rail company via an interchange between the 2 lines within a specific distance. Historically, shippers could access interswitching service at distances of up to 30 kilometers, a measure that's largely used to smooth rail traffic flows in and around cities. The pilot program increased the distance to 160 kilometers, giving some grain elevators access to interswitching service from other railways, but the 18-month period is set to expire in March. WestMet Group, the prairie provider of humic product Humulite, is acquiring fellow Alberta company Black Earth. The companies say the acquisition will bring streamlined production, continued sustainability, and reliable quality of humic products. Both companies have dug niches in the area of humic products for agriculture, aquaculture, animal feed, turf, and industrial applications. Humic acid is a naturally occurring substance, high in organic matter, and derived from the decomposed remains of plants and animals. It's mined in Alberta and marketed as a biostimulant. Bacteria, fungi, protozoa, earthworms, and insects feed on the decaying matter, creating a cycle of further decomposition. In agriculture, promises associated with humic products include the enhancement of soil and crop productivity, building better plant root systems, growing biomass, improving nutrient uptake, and contributing to higher crop yield and quality. The world's largest meat packer, JBS, became in 2021 the first of its peers to commit to cutting or offsetting all its emissions by 2040 and to ending illegal deforestation across its long supply chain that starts in the heart of the Brazilian Amazon. It used terms such as commitment and pledge and a slogan that anything less is not an option to describe its plan on calls with investors about a sustainable bond issue and in marketing materials, including for its beef. Nearly 4 years later, Jason Weller, Global Chief Sustainability Officer at the company, in which the Batista family is the largest investor, told Reuters in a rare interview that its emissions goal was merely an aspiration. He says it was never a promise that JBS was going to make this happen. He also said JBS cannot control how farms operate, although they are encouraging voluntary change. The company had pledged in 2021 to end illegal Amazon deforestation by its cattle suppliers by 2025. And Sask Ag Today officially launched the Great Bin Giveaway yesterday. We've teamed up with Core Grain to give you the chance to win a 100-ton fertilizer bin. Listeners have the chance to enter by visiting a sponsor location during on-location broadcasts. Listen to Sask Ag today to find out which sponsor locations you can enter at. You will also have chances to qualify by listening to Sask Ag today. The grand prize draw will take place at Ag in Motion this July. And that's the Ag Review segment of our program. Please stay tuned. Sask Ag today will return from the Western Canadian Crop Production Show in Saskatoon right after these messages.
This
Live from Crop Production Show.
And welcome back to the program. The government of Saskatchewan has released the 2024 Club Route Distribution Map, identifying the rural municipalities where Club Route has been identified since the first Saskatchewan detection in 2008. Sask Oilseeds Research Chair Cody Naj says the map reflects findings from last year's permission-based survey.
There's no new cases of visible symptoms. However, 2 additional fields were found to have the club root pathogen DNA in the soil. So that's a total number of confirmed fields is up to 45 now, which is getting to be a larger number, but the fact that it's not growing rapidly is a good thing.
He says 480 fields were tested through the voluntary program, which is free of charge.
Exactly, yes. The costs are covered, and it's just essentially to know where the issues are and where they might be in the near future and how to combat them as best we can.
Naj says Sask Oilseeds invests significantly in club root research.
Very important to keep ahead of it. Sask Oilseeds, or Sask Canola previously, has invested a little bit over $2 million on club root itself, and then we've leveraged another $4 million roughly. So a total of $6 million of research has gone into club root because of funders like Sask Oilseeds.
He believes canola growers are doing their best to put the crop on a 3-year seeding rotation.
I think so. Farmers know where their profit limits are, and canola is a major crop on a lot of farms. So I think they know that they don't want to push it too hard, because if they do get club root, then that severely hinders their own farm. So I think most farmers are doing exactly what they can be. Every farmer knows essentially if club root has been found in their RM, they're going to know about it. So then they're going to be a little bit more vigilant on looking for those symptoms and essentially being aware that if it's in their area, be a little more cautious and be sure that they're on the lookout for it.
Cody Naj is the research chair for Sask Oilseeds. Coming up next on the program, figuratively speaking, there is a help wanted sign over at the Saskatchewan Ministry of Agriculture. They're in need of crop reporters. We'll get into that right after these messages. This segment.
Today, live from Crop Production Show.
And welcome back, everyone, to the program. The Saskatchewan Ministry of Agriculture is in need of additional crop reporters for this growing season. As of November 28th, there are 209 crop reporters throughout the province. A map of reporters show many RMs have a reporter or two in them, but others don't, especially in the central and southern parts along the U.S. border. Crops Extension Specialist Tice Massich says even if there is a reporter and a local RM already, people can still sign up. He says you don't have to be a farmer to be a crop reporter, just someone with a general idea of what's happening in your RM.
And the minimum requirement each week for the survey is to fill out the rainfall data and just answer any of the other questions that you can answer. If you don't have cows, you don't have to answer the livestock questions. You can stick to the crop questions, or vice versa. So the surveys take only about 3 to 5 minutes each week, so it's pretty easy, and all your data is valuable to the industry.
The survey has different questions each week, and it only takes a few minutes to complete.
If you have a farm, you just kind of answer the questions based on what crop conditions you're seeing on your farm. And if you're an agronomist and you scout fields in your area, you kind of answer questions based on what you're seeing out in the field.
The Ministry of Ag is at the Western Canadian Crop Production Show, located in Hall B at Prairieland Park. Massich says they've had a few people interested in volunteering.
At the show so far, we've had a few people sign up to be crop reporters, which has been definitely a good sign.
And the more crop reporters, the better.
The more crop reporters we get, the more data we have coming in, and the more robust our crop report is each week.
To sign up, contact the Agriculture Knowledge Center, email the crop report team at cropreport@gov.sk.ca, or visit their booth at the Western Canadian Crop Production Show. Please stay tuned. Sask Ag Today from the Western Canadian Crop Production Show. We'll be back right after these messages.
Live from Crop Production Show.
And welcome back. Time now for the livestock quotes. It's brought to you by the Weyburn Livestock Auction. Call Weyburn Livestock at 842-4574. Now here are the latest livestock quotes.
This is the market report for the Weyburn Livestock Exchange for the week of January the 14th. We haven't had a sale here yet in Weyburn. We start tomorrow with cows and bulls. But from markets in Alberta that we are in touch with, we find that calves are about 10 cents higher than last year. Cows and bulls are higher too. The market is looking good. This has been Roy Rutledge reporting.
And the latest pork prices from the Brandon and Moose Jaw plants are up 50 cents to $208.22 per CKG.
U.S. live cattle futures for February are trading at $198.10 this hour. That's up 70. April live cattle trading at $199.05, up 90. March feeder cattle trading at $269.62, up 142. April feeder cattle trading at $269.97, up 142 as well. February lean hogs trading at $83.25, that's down 37. April lean hogs trading at $91.10, up 60. And that's the livestock market conditions. Please stay tuned. Sask Ag Today will return from the Western Canadian Crop Production Show in Saskatoon right after this.
Live from Crop Production Show.
Retired Canadian General Rick Hillier was the opening speaker yesterday at the Saskatchewan Crops Forum in Saskatoon. The two-day forum is organized by four of the major crop commissions: Sask Wheat, Sask Oilseeds, Sask Barley, and Sask Pulse Growers. In addition to annual general meetings for each of the commissions, there are speakers and panel presentations of common interest to producers. The forum is at Saskatoon's Western Development Museum. Rick Hillier, Canada's former Chief of Defense Staff, had a message of leadership and was asked about his advice for dealing with the tariff threat from incoming U.S. President Donald Trump.
First of all, Maintain the high ground. Don't take on Trump with the kind of thing that he revels in, i.e. that tit-for-tat fight. Take on Trump aggressively by doing what we as a G7 nation, as a sovereign nation, should be doing and should have done all along. Stephen Harper and Jean Chrétien, when asked whether they would have gone to Mar-a-Lago like Trudeau did, said no, we would not have needed to have gone because we would have done all the necessary things prior, i.e. we would have ensured that the border from the Canadian side between Canada and the U.S. was secure. We would have ensured sufficient investment in the Canadian Armed Forces, and on and on and on. And I think that's what we have to do. Come at Trump aggressively with our actions by doing what we should be doing all along. Let's secure that border. Let's invest in our defense and security so we can secure the Arctic, and at the same time so we can be a key player in NATO and our Western alliance of democratic nations as we face a variety of threats. I think that's how we have to come at the United States of America and Trump. And you need leadership to do that, and right now we have none across the nation, and that's why the individual premiers like Danielle Smith, like Doug Ford, are stepping up, and God bless them for doing it.
That's retired Canadian General Rick Hillier. You're listening to Sask Ag Today, live from the Western Canadian Crop Production Show in Saskatoon. Today is day 2. Stay tuned. We'll be back right after these messages.
Production Show.
And welcome back. We'll get into the grain prices now, and the grain prices at Viterra were up in early trading today. Canola is up $1 to $602.82 a metric ton, and one red spring wheat is up 53 cents to $271.50, and the rest remain unchanged. Durum $317.70, feed barley $246.57, chickpeas $837.75, flax $605.85, lentils $767.50, oats at $233, yellow peas $383.77, and feed wheat at $203.15.
ICE futures canola contracts are trading down across the board this hour. March canola trading at $624.10, down $17.50. May canola trading at $634.40, down $16.40. March Minneapolis wheat trading at $588 1/4. That's down 1 1/4 cents. March Kansas City wheat trading at $556 1/2, down 4 1/4 cents. March Chicago wheat trading at 5.45 3/4, down a half a cent. March corn trading at 4.77 3/4, that's up 3 1/4 cents. March soybeans trading at 10.41 1/4, down 6 1/4 cents. And March oats trading at 3.50 1/2, down 3 3/4 cents. And that's the commodities update.
Thanks, Doug. Now time for the resource report, which is brought to you by Core Grain Systems, your trusted supplier of Western Canadian grain storage. From grain bins to handling to conditioning, visit coregrain.com, doing the right thing for your farm. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau will host the country's premiers in Ottawa today for a meeting to talk about Canada's plan to respond to U.S. President-elect Donald Trump's vow to impose steep tariffs when he takes office next week. Trump has vowed to slap 25% tariffs on all Canadian and Mexican imports if improvements to border security aren't to his liking. Federal Finance Minister Dominic LeBlanc met yesterday in Toronto with Ontario's Premier to show him Ottawa's plan for border security, which Doug Ford called phenomenal. LeBlanc said the Finance Department and Canada's big banks have been working on modeling potential job losses from the tariffs, but gave no details. Loblaws, Walmart Canada, and Sobeys have all been named in a class action lawsuit accusing them of misrepresenting the weight of the meat they sell. The suit, launched in a federal court in Vancouver last week, alleges the retailers included the weight of the packaging and the pricing of raw and cooked meat and meat products. The lawsuit seeks punitive damages for the alleged discrete overcharging and deception during high inflation and when grocers have publicly committed to keeping prices low. None of the allegations have been proven in court. Turning over to the markets now, they are up across the board. The TSX is up 179 points to 24,766. The Dow is up 605 points at 43,128. Oil is up $1.90 to $78.27 per barrel, and the Canadian dollar is at 69.70 cents US. And that's the resource report. If you missed any segment of the show, no problem. You can tune in to the on-demand Sask Ag Today podcast, brought to you by Gowan Canada. Gowan Canada understands the challenges growers face and takes pride in finding effective crop protection solutions. Visit gowancanada.com to learn more. Doug?
A number of events coming up here at the Crop Production Show in Saskatoon. There's still some this afternoon if you're nearby. The spray drones, what does the research say? There'll be Tom Wolf from Agrimetrics speaking about that. Then at 2:30 this afternoon, Harvesting Your Legacy, planning for an intergenerational business transfer. Mike Kuzma from Client Solutions Manager with the Targeted Strategies Group will speak on that. And of course, you can come on down here to the Western Canadian Crop Production Show. Daily admission is $22. You can still get a 2-day pass for $40. Parking is free. We're open until 5 o'clock this afternoon here, and then the doors open again tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock and runs till 4 in the afternoon.
That's right, and that's going to conclude today's program of Sask Ag Today, live from the Crop Production Show at Prairieland Park. On behalf of Doug Falconer, I'm Ryan Young. Have yourself a nice day.